88 won the Berg, your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to what should be a great night of action between your Central Washington University Wildcats and the opposing Lincoln University Oaklanders. Ladies and gentlemen, what a great night of action we have in store for you tonight. You are hearing the voice of Ryan Gildersleeve, your play-by-play and color commentator for tonight's action and all of the action throughout winter break, though that saying, if you will, has kind of come to an end, as this is our final matchup of the winter break, at least for what Central Washington has. The next time that you will be able to catch one of our CW basketball games coming from here at Nicholson Pavilion is going to end up being on January 2nd. Now, tonight, folks, we do in fact have that final matchup for you, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what we're looking at for both of these two squads. Now, of course, your Central Washington Wildcats are going to look pretty familiar as to what we've seen not only throughout the other two of our winter break games, but also throughout the whole season up until this point. Now, your Wildcats coming into this game are 7-4. Of course, an unfortunate loss to the Northwest Missouri team that came in on that came in on Monday. But one way or another, ladies and gentlemen, your Wildcats looking to have a bounce-back performance tonight as they look to build a little bit of momentum before the end of winter break's slate for them here. So let's talk a little bit about Lincoln University, because last year there was a far different situation going on than there is this year with this team. Now, a lot of people can remember that last year when we saw them come in and we saw the Oaklanders play against your Wildcats here at Nicholson Pavilion, that was the first matchup of the season at all for the Wildcats. It was before preseason, you could even say. So the first squad that they played, it was a great opportunity for us to see how players from both sides were going to get adjusted, especially your Wildcats, seeing as there were so many new players that hadn't played before with a Wildcat jersey on last year. And so getting them in and being able to watch some of those guys like Angelo Lloyd and like Bradley Swilly come in and just get a couple of shots up and match up with a team that we don't talk about or see very frequently. It was a great opportunity, and I don't feel like tonight is going to go against that storyline very much at all. Folks, well, the one big difference that you're going to know, the head coach of the Oaklanders has changed. It is no longer former Seattle Supersonic legend Gary Payton. It is now new coach William Middlebrooks. And this team is off to a bit of a rocky start, you could say, this year. Up until this point, they are 1-9 in competition that you are able to find a score for. Now, I say that because 3 of their matchups throughout this year have been scrimmages, while the remainder have been split between normal conference games, all of which you can find those results for. And on the other end, it's been a couple of different exhibition matchups. Of course, their last matchup that they had was just yesterday, actually, as they played against Weber State. In that matchup, they would fall 128-58. That is right, people. I did, in fact, say that score correctly, a 70-point loss for them yesterday. Before that, they played against St. Martin's University. That matchup went pretty similarly, folks. And so as you come into tonight, you have to expect that the Wildcats are going to use this matchup as a bit of a bounce back, or at least they are hoping to. Let's talk about some names to watch for both of these two squads. Now, for Lincoln University, there are 3 very definitive, very easy to find names that you're going to want to watch out for. The number 1 name is Claude McKessie. Now, he's going to come in and he's going to do a lot for you. Averaging on the season 18, 4, and 2. That is 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Now, against Weber State, he put up 16 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. So you have to imagine that the defense is going to carry in, which is something that the Wildcats, of course, have struggled with on the year, is overly comprehensive defense. Guys that are able to secure them on the perimeter, on the interior, really anywhere that they go. We saw that on Monday. We saw what that can do to a team like the Wildcats. So you really do have to kind of dredge lightly when it comes to a team that is so defensively sound. Now, you want to talk about defense on this Lincoln University team, there's only one name that you should really be pointing to, and that's Knowledge Rubin. That's right, folks. Knowledge Rubin is the name. 10-3-1 they've averaged on the season so far, but against Weber, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Now, of course, we saw how that matchup ended up for them, but one would have to imagine that with that same profound defense tonight, they're going to have a great opportunity against a Wildcat team that is a little bit shaken up after that last matchup, one would have to assume. The last name that I've got for you is Leolu Kalajeye. Folks, this is going to be a great game for him, and I really do believe that a 6-foot, 180-pound guard, and he comes into this matchup averaging 12, 2, and 1. Now, against Weber State, what we saw from him was 16 points, a rebound, and 2 assists. He added a steal himself. This is what I'm talking about, folks. This is a very defensively sound team, a team that's going to be well-rounded, and a team that's going to do anything they possibly can to knock you off guard, something that the Wildcats, as previously mentioned, have struggled a little bit with on this season. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to send it off to our first break of the night as we do get ready for pregame festivities to kick off. But once that anthem is done with, we will hop back on and we will finish out the remainder of your pre-game show. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I am Ryan Gildersleeve calling the matchup for you here tonight for 88-1 The Berg and your CW Athletics live stream. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment. $88-1 The Berg, your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in Ryan Gildersleeve, your broadcaster for all of tonight's action, that being all of winter break's action too, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, this is the final matchup of our winter break slate for Central Washington University, but one way or another, folks, we've got a great night of action for you, so let's not get too hung up on the details. Let's talk about this matchup, and let's talk about what we've seen from each of these two teams and what you can expect from them. Now, folks, before the break, we covered Lincoln University's names to watch, those, of course, including Claude McKessie, Knowledge Rubin, and, of course, Leaolu Kalajeye. Kalajeye. That is a last name that I will promise to do my best with tonight, ladies and gentlemen. One way or another, folks, let me tell you, this Central Washington team has been so great to watch on the year, and they're only getting better. I say that for one singular, profound reason, and that is that tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have the return of a very special player on this Wildcat basketball team, that being Bradley Swilly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you watched any Central Washington Wildcat basketball last year, you know how important this man can be. He averaged 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal last year for your Wildcats, playing the two-guard position. This year, we can expect a whole lot of the same, if you're trying to get my opinion. Now, he's going to be the first name to watch for your Wildcats. Of course, he hasn't played in this system yet, at least what this year's system has looked like, and really, we're just not sure what we're going to get from him. But you have to assume that it's going to be great, and you have to assume that he's going to carry on that same trend that he was rolling with last year. If that's the case, I'm excited. One way or another, welcome back Bradley Swilly. I'm excited to call your name out tonight and for the remainder of the season. One way or another, folks, we've got a few more names for you for the Cats. The number one name that you need to know, the number one name that you're going to need to know not only for tonight, but for the remainder of the season is Kevin Holden. Kevin Holden's taken this team over by the reins, and he has truly made it his own. On the season, he's averaging 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. That's right. He's going to pad that stat book. Last game against that Northwest Missouri team on Monday, he put up 27 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and a couple of steals. Another couple players for your Wildcats. Jordan Clark, he's been on a scoring tear as of late. Had 3 steals in that matchup on Monday that we've been talking about. Another player that's riding a lot of momentum is Maverick Sanders. Maverick Sanders, of course, kind of got blanked out in that game against Western to end off the second matchup of conference play before we got into this winter break slate. He has really bounced back in the couple of matchups that we've seen since then. So excited to see what the Wildcat postgame is able to do tonight. Folks, we'll cover the keys to the game for both of these two squads as it progresses. But we are underway. Lincoln University moving it around the exterior here, as now this one's going to be tossed up to Williams at the top of the key. He's matched up with Anderson as he shoots it out right. Still maneuvering the perimeter. It's Wesley now. Or excuse me, it's McKessie now. He's going to use the screen, move out right. Takes a step back to the top of the key they go. Looked like they wanted the shot. They won't take it at first, and this one will be attempted from mid-range. It's off. Rebound to the Wildcats, and here they come. Maverick Sanders with it. He's going to toss up to the top of the key with Anderson. Anderson back out for Williams. Williams in the starting roster tonight for the Wildcats. He's going to drive in, and now Sanders pitches to Brizzy for the assist. So a great job for the Wildcats of getting into the post and really making it count. Now here on the other end are the Oaklanders putting up another shot. This one a little bit closer. It takes a couple bounces off the back iron, but does find its way in. That was number 11, Leolu Kalajeye. As now here's Williams. He's going to move this one out right for Anderson. Anderson looking inside. Not going to get what he wants. Instead, he shoots this one over to Holden. Kevin Holden now. Moving his way inside. Uses the screen from Brizzy. Now pitching over to Brizzy, but this one's going to be knocked out of the way. Lincoln takes over. On the drive, puts it up, and that one is off. Rebound is brought in by the Oaklanders, and the second chance opportunity also will be off. So the Wildcats come back, and it's Garrett Anderson getting a couple of points to go. Now an immediate fast break for the Oaklanders on the other side, and a jump ball is going to be called. Wildcats will take over. So a little bit of a misstep for Cloud McKessie there. Folks, a great slate of matchups we've seen for your Wildcats. As Evergreen State came to the Berg, we also saw Northwest Missouri and now Lincoln University. Your Wildcats look to go 2-1 in competition against those squads. As here, a blocking foul is going to be called against Cloud McKessie. So obviously not the way that he would have intended to start the matchup off, but one way or another, his first foul has been earned, and the first for the Oaklanders. It'll be Maverick Sanders, the inbounder for the Wildcats here. As he looked like he wanted Williams, instead he goes right to Brizzy. Brizzy with it, over to Williams on the perimeter. Perimeter drive for Williams. He's going to kick this one over. Looked like it was for Brizzy, but it finds its way to Sanders. Maverick Sanders with it now. He pitches toward the top of the key. Shoots this one over out left for Holden. He's going to go back to Sanders. Wide open 3, and you can't give him that. Maverick Sanders, good job getting the 3 on the board there. 7-2, the Cats lead it by 5. And now here are the Oaklanders looking to answer back on this drive. Gets his pocket picked there by Kevin Holden, but keeps it in his possession. Now on the drive against Mitch Brizzy. Here's the shot. That one attempted. That one is off. That one put up by Christian Bala. Now here's Anderson. On the drive, he's going to get a wide open lane and score. So Garrett Anderson with a hot start to the night. 4 points to his total as the Wildcats cross 10. Now here on the other end. Once again, looking to answer back are the Oaklanders. A couple of empty possessions for them now. And here's the 3. That one's drained, so Joshua Russ gets on the board for the first time here tonight as he hits the dagger. Now here's Maverick Sanders bringing it back for the Cats. He's going to move this one inside for Brizzy. Brizzy now letting the play develop. He's now getting double teamed, so he'll shoot out for Williams. Williams inside for Sanders, puts it up quickly, but he is just off, and it will not land. Now here are the Oaklanders on the drive, inside, shooting out for the perimeter. There's Russ again, and that one is off. Rebound goes to Maverick Sanders. So Sanders now bringing it across half court. He shoots it over to Williams. Wide open 3 for him, and that one is off. Rebound going to go to number 9, Michael Washington. Now it's being moved around a couple of times by the Oaklanders, attempting to draw the foul, and they're going to call another jump ball. So that one attempted by Christian Bala. He'll come out of the game in exchange for Rubin, that being number 23, Knowledge Rubin. We spoke a little bit about him before the matchup started off. Now, folks, let's talk a little bit about your keys to the game for Lincoln University. There are 3 things that I feel like they're going to need to do tonight if they want to keep in it against your Wildcats, and they're pretty simple here. Now, the number 1 is you need to force turnovers. You can't allow the Wildcats to walk all over you on the offensive side of the ball. As here's Rubin, was the intended recipient for the pass. Instead, Xavier Kamalu Vargas comes up with it. He tosses out for Anderson, who will drain a 3. So there's Garrett Anderson getting it going to start it off. 7 points for him now, and that's what you like to see. Kind of a slow few games over winter break for him. Not only that, but the matchups in our GNAT competition before winter break started also could fall under the same category. So nice to see Garrett Anderson starting the night off hot. Now here's Williams with it for the Oaklanders. He shoots this one out right. Now here's a deep 3 put up, but that one's not going to even reach the rim as the Wildcats take back over. Now here's Garrett Anderson. Right in a little bit of momentum. He'll pitch out for Maverick Sanders. Sanders now on the drive. Give him a wide open lane and he'll get you 2 points. 14-5 your score. The Cats lead it by 9. As now bringing it up is Elijah Williams. He tosses this one out right for Rubin. Rubin now to the corner. He's going to hit Russ. Takes the 3. That one's off the back iron. Rebound goes to Garrett Anderson. Anderson now moving it up for Holden as Kevin Holden approaches on that left side. He's going to take a step back 3 himself and he's going to knock it down. So Kevin Holden gets his first 3 of the night to fall. A 17-5 lead for the Wildcats. And now here's another shot put up. That one attempted by Leolu Kalajeye, and he's going to get it to go. So another couple for him. He's got 4 on the night so far. Now Mitch Brizzi with it. Working against Knowledge Rubin. He's going to try and move himself inside. Now here comes the double team. He pitches it to Anderson, and the layup will not go. Rebound to the Islanders. Here's Knowledge Rubin. Stops, shoots it out left for Washington. Now they go back up top for Russ. Russ being guarded by Maverick Sanders. The pass will go to Knowledge Rubin. Rubin calling plays now as he's going to move this one out right for Washington. Washington now takes the mid-range. Off the back iron. Rebound goes to Rubin. Second chance now for the Oaklanders. Let's see how they respond. Screen used, and he's going to use it again. And now the pass goes to Knowledge Rubin. Takes a free throw line shot. That one is off. Rebound goes to Xavier Kamalu Vargas. Now here's Kamalu Vargas coming up that left side. He's going to swing it out for Sanders. Sanders to Brizzi. Brizzi to Anderson. Anderson for 3, and that one is off. Rebound goes to Russ. And here come the Oaklanders, but not so fast as this one finds its way out of bounds. The Wildcats take over with a 10-point lead. 17-7 your score. 13.5 remaining in the first half of action. And it appears that there will be a couple of substitutions for your Wildcats following the break. But we're going to keep it right here, ladies and gentlemen, as we talk a little bit more about those keys to the game that I was mentioning. Now, of course, the number 1 key to the game for Lincoln University is going to be to force turnovers. If you're unable to force turnovers against this Wildcat team, then a defensive misstep is really going to cost you. I mean, what else can I tell you? When it comes to this Wildcat team, they're a squad that you have to take opportunities away from. I mean, if you're letting them run all over you and you're letting them go throughout the normal course of a game, that's where they're going to beat you. This is a team that's designed to maneuver within the typical set that you're going to watch. I mean, if you come in and you're just going to play a hard-nosed basketball game, chances are you're not going to find yourself with a whole lot of success. Now, here's the deal. When you're able to do certain things on the offensive end, then you might just get there a little bit quicker than you'd expect. And let me explain. The Wildcats have been pretty notoriously bad at defending the interior, and I am not scared to say that after what we saw on Monday. Now, folks, it doesn't really need to be that way, if I'm honest, but if Lincoln University is able to continue to exploit that mismatch, if they're able to make their way inside, they're able to get easy shots, I'm thinking a guy like Knowledge Rubin could truly be used properly if it is the choice of Coach Middlebrooks of Lincoln University to use him the way that I'm thinking, which is really, of course, as you do see Calvin Sisk entering the game for the Wildcats, you got to hit him hard, and you got to find your spots. If you're able to create separation inside, then the Wildcats might just be dwindling a little bit quicker than we'd like to see as a home crowd. But here is Sisk. He's going to move it out right for Kevin Holden. Holden back up top, and it's going to get right back to him. Holden now tries to go up and over to Sisk, but it's plucked away. Now here come the Oaklanders. Williams with it. He's going to move this one out left. And stepping out of bounds with it is going to be Bala. So the last one that I've got for you, ladies and gentlemen, Lincoln University needs to protect the paint, because as much as the Wildcats have their tribulations on the offensive end of the ball and scoring inside, defensively, that has been their true kryptonite, if you will, is being able to defend the interior. And so, really, I mean, hey, if they can attack the inside and they can defend the inside, then one way or another, we're going to see an interesting game, whether it be fireworks from three all night or whether it just be, I don't even know. I mean, hey, you could go to the flats and you can shoot mid-range all you want. As here the Wildcats moving it around now after the missed shot on the other end by the Oaklanders. This one's going to find its way out of bounds, and it will be the Lincoln ball. Now let's talk about your Wildcats. Let's talk about the keys to the game for them, because I've got a few for you too. Now, the number one key to the game for your Wildcats is you have to capitalize on forced turnovers. I mean, this is a team that's been so defensively sound over the last while, and if you're able to give them the opportunities to bring back a stolen possession, then they need to be able to convert on that and get points, because that's how you win these basketball games. Of course, you can get steal after steal after steal, and you can average 3 a game or 4 a game and be John Stockton if you want to, but you really do have to be able to convert. Or what does it really mean? As now Bradley Swilley's going to enter the game for the Wildcats. He tosses to Parlin, who will drive and be called for the foul, it appears. And, no, it appears that they might be calling this foul against number 53 of Lincoln, though I'm not seeing a 53. So one way or another there, folks, it is a foul called, and it's actually going to go against Christian Bala. I guess you can't really show 8 fingers on one hand, so that makes more sense. But one way or another, I'm still here with you, folks. Here's Kobe Parlin tossing out right for Xavier Kamalu Vargas. Vargas now inside for Swilley. Swilley goes out for Harris. Harris inside for Sisk, and he's going to score. So a good job giving him a chance to really just hop up, elevate above the rim, and score there. I mean, the 7-footer, he's had a slow start to the year, but the more that the team gets used to having him, the better it'll be, as Jamari Harris loses it right at the rack, unable to convert on the dunk opportunity. As now Sisk is going to poke this one out of the hand, and this one off the foot. So a little bit of trouble by the Oaklanders here, keeping the ball in their hand, as on the drive, a foul will be called against the Wildcats. This one called against Kobe Parlin, heading to the line for an opportunity. Appears to be Christian Bala. As entering the game for the Wildcats will be Williams, and a timeout will be called. Now let's talk about the remainder of those keys to the game for your Wildcats here, folks. Now, I was talking about capitalizing on forced turnovers. That's what you have to do. I mean, at the end of the day, here's the deal. When you're forcing 18 turnovers against a team like Northwest Missouri, but only scoring 21 points on those opportunities, the sad fact of the matter is it's just not good enough. Now, let me tell you, if you're going to be scoring on 10 out of 18 tries, then I don't think that's necessarily the worst thing in the world. But at the end of the day, if you're only able to convert on 10 out of 18 tries, it's just not going to work for you. This isn't baseball. Hitting 330 is not going to get you into the Hall of Fame here, folks. You have to be able to get done what you can get done. And if you can steal a possession from the other team, whether it be via block or via steal, then you have to be able to get points on the other end, and that's what's been hindering your Wildcats so far on the year. Now, the next one. Not only do you need to capitalize on the turnovers that you force, but you need to stop committing turnovers yourself. That's something that really plagued the Wildcats on the Bearcat game on Monday, as they were just able to find ways to lose the ball just about every possession. And it's not what you want to see out of the Wildcats. It's not what we saw in those conference matchups. Maybe it's just a little bit of the jitters that you get from playing in these exhibition matchups, but at the end of the day, it's just not going to work for you moving forward. The last one that I've got for you. Let the Cats shoot the 3, man. That's what I want to see. This is a team that has been so good percentage-wise when it comes to shooting the 3 that you really would like to see them kind of come into their own. And in matchups against their opponents, of course, your Wildcats shooting .364 on the season to their opponents .381. But we know that this is a Wildcat team that is capable of doing more than that, as the free throw will fall, and that's going to get another point to the favor of Christian Bala. Now a full court press being implemented by Lincoln, as here's Bradley Swilley with it. Swilley going to toss inside for Sisk, who's going to score. And we talk about dominating the paint, folks. That's what it looks like right there. Getting good opportunities for the guys who can elevate up above that rim. As now here's Christian Bala. He's going to work against Sisk, and he's going to get that one to go. So on the other end, they'll trade a blow quite quickly. Now Jamari Harris coming up with it. He tosses out left for Williams. Eli Williams has Swilly out left, Parlin out right. He picks the ladder. Now Parlin on the drive. He goes inside for Sisk. Sisk has got quite the mismatch, but he's going to end up tossing this one out of bounds. So possession will find its way to the Oaklanders. But yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to be able to let your guys shoot the three. When you've got guys like Kevin Holden shooting 38% from there, Jordan Clark is shooting 53% from three. I mean, you just got to see that happen at some point or another. As now a foul is going to be called against the Wildcats. That specifically will go against Bradley Swilly. So Swilly picks up his first foul of the season. And the inbounder for the Oaklanders will be Leolu Kalajeye. He tosses this one in. Now here's the step back. They want to move this one back to the perimeter. Having a little bit of trouble finding their opportunity, but they finally do, and Jamari Harris comes away with a steal. So now here's Jamari. He's going to move it to Swilly, and Bradley Swilly's first couple of the year are going to land on the assist from Jamari Harris. And just like that, the Wildcats put another couple on the board as a very long three-point try by Kalajeye will be attempted. It will not land. Here are the Cats now, bringing it back up with a 12-point lead here. 10 minutes and 30 seconds remain in this first half of action. As now, here's Williams with it. Williams moves it out right for Harris. Harris inside to Sisk. Sisk now takes the step back, puts it up. That one's off. Gets his own rebound, and the second chance will be there for him. 6 points on the night for Calvin Sisk as the Wildcats continue to pound the interior. Now, here on the other end, here's Christian Bala. On the exterior, he's got Washington out left, won't pick him. Instead, he shoots this one out right. Now towards the top of the key, they'll stop, move it out right once more. Still on the perimeter are the Oaklanders, matched up with Kobe Parlin well here. Here's Williams. He's going to go back to the perimeter. Now, moving the ball around a little bit in his hands and driving. Kicks it out for Williams again. He'll take a three with a second on the shot clock, and it's off. A great great effort shown there by Michael Washington getting the rebound amongst three Wildcats, but it will not end up in points as now the Cats come back again. Swilly's going to move it out right for Jamari Harris. Now Harris inside for Williams. Williams going to take the stop, move out right, trying to use the body to get inside here. He's got his look, but he's not going to be able to get around on it as he passes to the exterior with Swilly. Swilly now moving this one out right. Williams gets his guy jumping and gets a easy layup, but it's off for him. So now the Wildcats going to get the rebound, but Jamari Harris, they will say, stepped out of bounds as he got it back in his hands. So 14 points are going to separate your Wildcats from the Oaklanders here, as now with the ball in hand is Cloud McKessie. Matched up with Eli Williams here as he makes it across that big old half-court logo of your Wildcats. He's going to hand this one off. That one to Kalajeye. Now he's going to drive with it, shoot out to the exterior. They're going to get a three-point shot from the corner, and that one's going to be off. Rebound goes to Calvin Sisk. He moves this one up for Parlin, as Parlin now over to Williams. Williams to Harris. Jamari Harris moving out left now with it. He's going to hit Kobe Parlin. Parlin on the drive, goes up for it. 88-1 the Berg, your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the action. You are hearing the voice of Ryan Gildersleeve. I am your play-by-play and color commentator for all of winter break's action here. And tonight, we have a good one for you. It is Central Washington University and Lincoln University. That's right, the Oaklanders have made their way back to the Berg this year as they look to take one from your 7-4 Wildcats, though up until this point, it hasn't gone all so great for the Oaklanders. They trail currently 31-13. That's right, an 18-point separation between these two squads, more than the scoring total of the Oaklanders. Now, of course, in their last matchup, we mentioned recently a 70-point loss to Weber State. So they're looking to do a bit better than that here tonight. And really, there is potential for it. I mean, if you've been watching this matchup with me here, then what you're seeing is just what I am, which is a very competent basketball team just needing to take better shots. As here's Garrett Anderson, moves it out for Kobe Parlin. Parlin now swings it inside for Sanders, who gets it to go through contact. Gives Sanders his 7th points of the night so far. As now bringing it up is McKessie. He's going to miss, but they will call the foul. This one going to go against the Wildcats, it so appears. And they're going to call it against Maverick Sanders. So Sanders picks up his first foul of the night. That makes 3 for both of our rosters here. Of course, 7 is the number to reach before both of these two squads will enter the bonus. And we've seen that a couple of times over these last couple of games. You know, your Wildcats are very aggressive on the defensive end of the ball, sometimes a little bit much and to a fault. But we haven't seen that a whole lot here tonight. I mean, they've been doing a good job. Keep your hands to yourself and get that ball against it. But one way or another, Garrett Anderson on what could be the easiest fast break opportunity I've ever seen in my life. Does a good job elevating and getting another 2 to go. So that pushes his total to 9 on the night. He leads your Wildcats up until this point. Now here's McKessie working against Garrett Anderson. Now on the drive, he puts it up and misses as the rebound goes to Eli Williams. Williams now moves it to Parlin. Kobe Parlin on the drive. Stopped up now with Knowledge Rubin, so he goes back to Williams. Williams coming inside, stops, spins back, hits Sanders. Sanders on the outside. Looked like he wanted the 3. Instead, he'll drive. Now it finds its way out to Bradley Swilly. Swilly to Sanders on a dime, and he's going to miss that one. A foul is called, and it appears as though it's going to go against number 23, Knowledge Rubin. So the 4th foul of the night for the Oaklanders, as now Maverick Sanders gets ready to put up a couple of shots of his own. Sanders, 7 points on the night so far, and as we've mentioned a couple of times throughout the broadcast, coming off of what wasn't a great beginning of the season in conference play, and really has lit it up over the last little while here over our matchups throughout winter break. He's looked quite impressive, the way that we know he can be. So we'll look for the second shot from him here, as Kevin Holden checks into the matchup. And that one will be knocked down. So now here are the Oaklanders. They look to take one away from your Wildcats on this drive, as here's McKessie. McKessie now over to Williams. Williams looked like he wanted Rubin. Instead, he goes back up to the top. This one tossed around a couple times. It'll find Rubin now on the right side. He's going to drive against Sanders, puts it up and gets it to go. And he's going to hit the cradle the baby after that one. That's an intriguing show, as now Maverick Sanders on the other end puts up a 3 in Rubin's face, but that one will not connect. Maybe a little bit of a, not a rivalry, but a standoff between these two, it appears, as now with it is McKessie. He's going to drive, and Maverick Sanders is going to send it back. Jeez, Sanders, let the man live. As now on the other end, the Wildcats going to lose it. But wow, Maverick Sanders looking to end a career with that one. I can't tell you where the motivation to send that back with such strength comes from. But one way or another, he made his message clear. Now Knowledge Rubin kind of giving him the business on the other end. But one way or another, it is Caligeye with it. He's going to stop, move out left with it. Now going back out right, but he'll step out of bounds. The Wildcats take it back with a 20-point lead. Your inbounder will be the returning Bradley Swilly here. As now, this one handed to Swilly. Swilly, the inbounder, goes to Garrett Anderson. So Anderson will bring it up the right side, and what has begun to become a quite entertaining matchup. Now Maverick Sanders going to drive and get it to go. So that's his 10th points of the night here, and the Oaklanders bring it back once more. Here is McKessie looking out right. He's going to find his man in Chris Planty. Now it's back to him. McKessie on the spin. He is going to lose it for a moment, and he'll kick it out of bounds. So the Wildcats regain possession. And not a spotless night in terms of turning the ball over has it been for the Oaklanders. Maverick Sanders will bring it up for the Wildcats here. He's been on a little bit of a hot streak these last few drives, as this one's going to get tossed over to Kevin Holden. Holden now is going to move it to Anderson. Anderson, the spin move, and he's unable to get the shot to fall. Rebound goes to McKessie, who's now going to toss it up for Williams, who can't outrun it. It'll find its way out of bounds, and the Wildcats will regain possession. Looks like Garrett Anderson will be the inbounder, as checking into the game for the Oaklanders is TJ Corbin II. Also checking in will be Kevin Holden, will be Mitch Barizzi, as exiting the game is Bradley Swilly. Here's Eli Williams bringing it up. He's got Anderson out right. He's got Sanders out left. He's going to choose the left side, hand it off to Sanders. Sanders now using the screen from Brizzi. Goes inside for Williams. Williams now moves it over, and it's going to be Holden. Tosses outside for Sanders. Sanders goes for Brizzi, but this one's going to be taken away before it finds its way. Now it's Corbin with it. Corbin taking the step back. On the top of the key, he's going to move this one outright for Planty. Planty now to Rubin. Here's Knowledge Rubin. Step back mid-range, gets it to fall. So Rubin records his 4th points of the night. As now it's Holden outright for Williams. Williams wants Garrett Anderson. He'll find him. Anderson now to Brizzi. Brizzi to the corner. Maverick Sanders for 3. That one is off. Rebound going to fall for the Islanders. Corbin with it. Coming up the right side, being guarded by Kevin Holden. He's going to swing it back up top for Knowledge Rubin. Rubin hands it back to him, and now they move it to Planty. Planty heading out left with it. Wants the 3 ball, and he gets blocked by Brizzi on the perimeter. And so now, here is Kevin Holden. He'll lose it for a second. Now toss it in for Brizzi. Brizzi attempts to go back to Holden. Whistles will blow on what is probably a kicked ball violation. Substitution here for the Wildcats is coming in will be Xavier Kamalu Vargas, though it appears a timeout will be called. So we'll take 1-2. Be back with you in just a moment here on 88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. .88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. You're hearing the voice of Ryan Gildersleeve as we get ready to cover the final 3.5 for your Wildcats as they take on the Lincoln University Oaklanders, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Kevin Holden. He's got the ball for the Cats as he swings it out for Sanders. Sanders from the perimeter goes inside for Brizzi. Brizzi now working against Knowledge Rubin. He's going to throw the shoulder, throw the shot up, miss it, and the second chance will fall. So Mitch Brizzi gets it to go, his 4th points of the night as he's bullying the competition inside. Now moving it out right are the Oaklanders. It's Knowledge Rubin with it. He's going to go out right once more for McKessie. McKessie uses his screen, now goes back to Rubin. Rubin to the corner with Williams, takes the 3, misses the 3, right to the hands of Knowledge Rubin. Rubin now gets the shot up, but he will. Luke Caligere getting a couple to go. Or excuse me, for your Wildcats, it's going to be Garrett Anderson getting a couple to go. As now it appears that we're back on the radio dial, and with that, here are the Oaklanders moving it around. Here's Rubin. He's going to lose it, and it's picked up by Kamalu Vargas. Vargas now up to Kevin Holden, who will put up the shot. That one's off, and Maverick Sanders slams it down. So welcome back to our radio audience. My apologies for the technical difficulties, but you caught a good one, that's for sure. Now it's going to be on the other end, Cloud McKessie scoring for the Oaklanders as your Wildcats bring it back up. Here's Maverick Sanders, goes out left for Brizzi. Brizzi now going to go back to Holden. Holden matched up well here. He uses the screen from Brizzi, heads out left, and the whistles will blow, sending possession back to the Oaklanders. Mitch Brizzi will be called for a foul on that one. And so it will be the Oaklanders' number 9, Williams, the inbounder, Washington, the inbounder. And a timeout will be called. So just like that, ladies and gentlemen, they take a timeout on the court. We'll take one, too. Be back with you in just a moment here on 88.1 The Berg, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. And 88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Welcome back, folks. Ryan Gildersleeve, your broadcaster for all of tonight's action, as we jump back into the final 48 seconds of the first half of action between your Wildcats and the Lincoln University Oaklanders. A 3 put up to start off of or really to just kick it off out of the break as Garrett Anderson gets the steal. The 3 was attempted by Leolu Kalajeye, as now on the other end, here's Anderson elevating and getting 2. That's his 15th points of the night so far as the Wildcats push their lead out to 26. Your current score, 48-22. As now with it is Cloud McKessie. He's going to go out left for Washington. Washington matched up with Kamalu Vargas here. And about less than a second separating the shot and game clocks. Now this one going to be handed off and moving out left with it. Now to the corner. An opportunity inside, but instead they'll go to McKessie on the perimeter, and it's blocked by Anderson. That's going to end the quarter, and just like that, a great start to the night for your Wildcats. 48-22, your current score. The Cats lead it by 26. Ladies and gentlemen, what a matchup it's been up until this point. Of course, now for the Wildcats, you've got to be happy about the production from Garrett Anderson up until this point. Another name that you got to throw out there is Maverick Sanders. He's just been impressive on the night so far. Of course, he was one of those names to watch that we tossed out before the matchup started. You always know it's either going to be a hot start for him or it's going to be a little bit of a slower start. That's just kind of the way it's going to go for the inside men of your Wildcats. It's either the opportunities are there and the shots are falling, or it is the alternative, which of course we would rather not see. Now, tonight, we are seeing the better end of the stick as your Wildcats have been more than efficient scoring on the inside. And I got to say, they've been impressive on most, if not all, ends. 48-22 doesn't happen with a lack of effort. I'll tell you that much, folks, as your Wildcats really have put themselves in a position to take over in the second half and send the Lincoln University Oaklanders home packing. I mean, this would be the 10th loss of the season for the Oaklanders if it was handed to them by the Wildcats. Of course, the Wildcats looking to avoid their 5th loss of the season themselves. Folks, once again, thank you for joining us for the broadcast here tonight. I am Ryan Gildersleeve, your broadcaster for all of tonight's action, as well as all of the action throughout winter break. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I have been so happy to watch this Wildcat team take the court each and every night. And let me tell you some of the trends that I'm watching as we come back into conference play, starting at the beginning of January. Now, your Wildcats, the first matchup that you're going to see in January is on January 2nd, when the women's team is going to come out, and they're going to have their first matchup on the 2nd, as previously noted. Now, then your Wildcats come back, I believe, on the 4th of January, in which case I am so excited to jump back into this GNAC action, folks. I mean, I don't really know how else to put it down for you, but this is a Wildcat team that even through these exhibition matchups has been looking so fun, so great. I mean, hey, let me tell you, the shots are falling from behind the arc. They're starting to see a little bit better, some chemistry on the inside. When I say that, I'm talking about Calvin Sisk, who has 6 points on the night so far. I'm talking about Mitch Brizzi, who's using his physicality a lot better, avoiding fouls. I'm talking about Maverick Sanders, who we talk about every game because he's either on or he's off. I've been seeing so much more on from him this season, and that makes me happy. This is a Wildcat team that's starting to come together. They're starting to knock off those rough edges. Let me tell you, if there is one thing that I know to knock off the rough edges better than the polishing wheel on a grinder, I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's bringing a new player with a sharp edge himself into the team, and that's what they've done tonight, bringing bringing Bradley Swilly back in. Now, of course, he hasn't been able to compete up until this point in the season, but now he's here, and you have seen that in full effect. I mean, we're happy to have him, and he's just one of those players that's going to add a level of questionability to these opposing teams when they come in to try and play against us that, I mean, hey, let me give it to you this way, folks. The Nicholson Pavilion already, when you've got a high-capacity crowd, it's already so difficult to play in. You've got the band. They're trying to hypnotize you. You've got loud music playing. You've got loud fans. You got rowdy fans. You've got all kinds of things going on, and let me just break it down for you. If you're looking for one reason to come and watch this Wildcat team as we come out of the break, let me lay it down for you. Last year, this team, GNAC champions. Last year, like I said, they were, one of those teams that maybe didn't mesh as well together as you'd like to see. I mean, of course, there are a couple of players who have since graduated from this team that used to head it, if you will. And this year, it's been interesting to see how the Wildcats react to that. I mean, let me tell you, when you lose a name like Samad Hector, you lose a name like a few years ago, we saw the same thing with Brock Gilbert. You have to reassess who's going to move the ball. Now this year, they have to reassess who's going to hit the shots inside. Now last year, of course, we had Maverick Sanders start to ease into that role a little bit, and he has shown enough of promise to be able to really earn those responsibilities full time for the Wildcats this year. Now, it's all about consistency, and that's what I feel like we're going to start seeing for the Wildcats the second that those January games open. Once that slate hits and we're jumping into watching your Wildcats take on only GNAC competition, this is a team that's going to get locked in. The focus is going to be something different. Midseason form is going to be achievable, and once you get to that point for the Wildcats, you're the most dangerous team in the GNAC by far. One way or another, ladies and gentlemen, you have to give your hats off to Lincoln University for putting on a great first half of action, 22-48 your current score. One way or another, we'll be back with you in just a little bit. I thank you for tuning into tonight's action. For Ryan Gildersleeve, for your Central Washington University Athletics live stream, and for 88.1 The Berg, we plead to not leave the stream. We'll be back in just a little while, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back here on 88.1 The Berg, your CW Athletics live stream, and from the chair that I am currently sitting in. So have a good halftime. We've got about 10 minutes until you hear this voice coming right back over your radio dial. 88.1 The Berg, your music central. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to what should be a very exciting second half of action between your Wildcats and the Lincoln University Oaklanders. Folks, it has been exhilarating to say the least throughout the first half of action. Your Wildcats lead it by 26 points. That's right, 48-22 your current score. And what a first half it was. We talked a little bit about it before we sent it off for our halftime break, but we will in fact bring it back and talk just a little bit about what we've seen and what we expect to see throughout the rest of this game. Now let me tell you folks, your Wildcats been finding opportunity after opportunity on the inside, so watch for that. Not a lot of perimeter shooting by the Wildcats, though not a lot of it's been needed, if that makes a whole lot of sense. Here's Kevin Holden with it for the Wildcats as we are back in the action. Here's Mitch Brizzi. Brizzi back out to Holden. Holden to Anderson, takes the three, hits the three! Garrett Anderson kicking off the second half the same way he left off. 18 points for him now. As now moving it around are the Oaklanders. On the drive, puts up the reverse, and it's blocked by Brizzi. Mitch Brizzi showing off the defensive skill there as Sanders receives the pass. He gives it to Holden. Holden stops, up and over to Brizzi. Brizzi to the perimeter, finds its way to Sanders. Sanders, corner, Williams. Now on the drive, loses it. And taken over are the Oaklanders. Foul will be called against the Wildcats' Garrett Anderson. So first of the half for the Cats, who now lead by 29, 51-22 your score. Inbounding for Lincoln, number 3, Cloud McKessie. He goes right in, and it will be number 11, Leolu Kalajeye. He's going to move it out left, get it right back to him. Now from the top of the key, he moves this one over. And it's now Bala with it. He'll take the mid-range, and he'll miss the mid-range. Off the back iron, rebounded now by Maverick Sanders. Sanders on the drive, goes up for it, gets it to go. Maverick Sanders with his 14th of the game. As now with it is McKessie. He's going to move this one over, and they'll get it over once more to Kalajeye. He's going to take the three and make the three. Give it to him. That's Leolu Kalajeye with his 7th points of the matchup for Lincoln. Now Garrett Anderson looking to answer back. He swings it out for Brizzi. Brizzi using the spin move well. Now driving. He's going to kick out for Anderson. Anderson on the drive, puts it up, knocks it down. Give him 16 on the, or excuse me, give him 20 on the night so far. As now on the other end, it is Russ with it. He's looking out left, trying to find some recipient. Doesn't find him. Instead, he'll decide to drive, and it's taken away by Sanders. Maverick Sanders with it. He passes over to Anderson, but it's intercepted by Williams before it gets there. Now Elijah Williams bringing it back on the drive. Kicking to the corner. Now back to him on that left side. And so through contact, Sanders reels in his 16th points of the night. As now on the other end, it's McKessie driving and answering back quickly. Now Sanders to Kamalu Vargas. As we're getting shots traded back and forth like a heavyweight battle as Kevin Holden knocks it down from the corner. Holden now records his 6th points of the night on his 2nd perimeter blow. Now here's McKessie moving it back up top. Here's Kalajeye with it. Matched up against Holden. Uses the screen from Rubin. Now on the drive still. And they're going to call the foul. And that one will go against Kevin Holden, it appears. As now a little bit of what looked like it could have been a tussle starting up, though. Let me tell you, when you've got a guy like Mitch Brizzi coming in to break up your tussle, I don't think that no one's going to be tossing anything for a little while. One way or another, your Wildcats have doubled the Oaklanders' score at 64-32. They're going to take a timeout, so we'll take one too. Be back with you in just a moment here on 88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. 88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Folks, you are hearing the voice of Ryan Gildersleeve, your play-by-play broadcaster for all of the men's basketball season, as well as your color commentator before winter break. Let me tell you, folks, working double time, it might not be so glamorous for most folks, but when your job is more fun than anything else, it kind of ends up working out well. Let me tell you, I enjoy filling the color commentator spot for you. It's almost like I'm having a conversation with you wherever you may be. One way or another, folks, though, will be McKessie receiving the inbound. Now he's going to have the foul called. This one will go against Maverick Sanders. It'll be a blocking foul, his second of the night. The Cats now have come out of the half playing aggressive, but not to their own favor, as 5 fouls they've recorded up into this point. 0 for the Oaklanders here, as this one inbounded to Washington. Washington out left for Knowledge Rubin. Rubin now trying to move things around with his mind, is now Caligier going to receive it. Steps back, passes out right. And now once again, and McKessie, step back mid-range. That one's off. Rebound goes to Garrett Anderson. So Anderson having a hot night for himself, 22 points as of now. He passes to Sanders. Sanders now attempted, it looked like it was intended for Parlin, but both Kamalu Vargas and Kobe Parlin had their hands up for that one. Now this one inbounded, and it's going to be Cloud McKessie with it. McKessie coming up that left side. He's got Sanders in front of him, driving. Kick it to the corner, and now once again they're going to try it inside, and it's blocked by Garrett Anderson. Let me tell you, folks, something that we should probably mention, as it has come into play a couple of times tonight, is that there is a bit of a height difference between these two squads. You do not see a player over the height of 6'6" for Lincoln University on the roster, and so Central Washington's had a little bit of fun playing around with the mismatches here, trying to see who they can get on who. You know, these Wildcats love to throw their bigs on guards. That's just the versatility that they look for in recruiting, it appears. As now on the other end, a very hard-fought rebound turns into a turnover for the Oaklanders. And it's Xavier Kamalu Vargas bringing it up. He's going to stop for a moment, kick it inside for Anderson, and the whistle will blow. So, with that whistle, it's going to be Kamalu Vargas, the inbounder now. There are 14 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in this second half of action between your Wildcats and the Lincoln University Oaklanders. Inbounding, as previously mentioned, is Kamalu Vargas here. He's going to go inside for Sanders. Sanders working against Rubin, trying to find separation, uses the spin move, misses, and he's not going to be able to reel in the rebound. Now bringing it up are the Oaklanders. On the drive, there's the shot. Whistles blow as Bala is going to miss the shot. And it's going to give possession back to the Wildcats here. Kevin Holden now inbounds to Kobe Parlin, who will kick it off as your ball handler. Parlin back over to Holden. Holden now approaching. He kicks it over to Anderson. Anderson now attempts inside for Holden, but it finds its way out of bounds. And so moving the ball back into Oaklander possession on that one. And here we are. So it's inbounded now, and it is Caligier with it once more. He's been fighting against Kevin Holden all night long. Now on the drive, he goes up, and he won't get it to go, but a blocking foul will be called against Xavier Kamalu Vargas, giving the Oaklanders their 6th foul against for the night, or excuse me, for the half. So one more of those, and they're going to find their way to the bonus here, as that one will go against Kamalu Vargas, as previously noted, his first of the night. 64-32, still your score here from the Nicholson Pavilion, as Leolu Caligier puts up the free throw and knocks it down. Now an opportunity for another one for him, as it'll be Jamari Harris checking into the game for Garrett Anderson. Caligier now looking to put up his second free throw. This one's up, and that one off. Rebound goes to Harris, who will immediately grab a rebound off of entrance. He'll move it to Kamalu Vargas. Kamalu Vargas now to Holden. Holden back out Harris. Harris, step back against Rubin. He tosses out right for Sanders. Sanders now. Looked like he wanted to go back up top for Holden. He does. Kevin Holden on that right side. Swings it back to Sanders. Sanders, step back, goes to Kamalu Vargas. Kamalu Vargas now to Jamari Harris. He's going to go back out for Holden. Holden now for Parlin. Parlin for 3. That one is off. And the rebound going to go to Cloud McKessie. Now tossing that one up for Knowledge Rubin. Rubin steps back and searches for the pass inside. Now a blocking foul is going to be called. And it'll go against Kobe Parlin. So just like that, the Oaklanders, without committing a single foul in the second half, have entered the bonus. A couple of substitutions for the Cats here. Kevin Holden and Maverick Sanders will step out. Bradley Swilly and Calvin Sisk will step in their place. And so Michael Washington will shoot the free throws here. Again, we are not quite aware of what his numbers have looked like on the season to this point, though one could assume that, let's say about, I don't know, Michael Washington. I'm thinking kind of like an 83% shooter kind of guy. He will knock down the first of the 1-and-1. But yeah, I don't know. Something about his play style just screams 83% free throw shooter to me. So one way or another, we'll see what he's able to do on this second one. As here's the second by Washington. That one is off, and it'll find its way out of bounds. Central Washington takes back over. So a 30-point lead for the Cats here. You have to wonder what's going through the head of these Wildcat players as they get ready to drive onto the offensive end. Of course, a lot of the younger guys and the lower rotation players for the Wildcats been able to get some very valuable playing time over these exhibition matchups in the winter break slate. So we'll see what we're able to figure out here with just about all the young guys on the court. Here's Kobe Parlin with it. Parlin now swings it out left for Bradley Swilly in his return game. He's going to take the mid-range, and that one's going to be off for him. Rebound will go to Bala. Bala now over to, he was over to Caligere. That was an immediate pass put up, and it was intercepted by the Cats. The referee going to make a call, and they'll say that, well, there's something going against Knowledge Rubin here. I can't say that I caught it with my own eye, but on the other end, it does swing possession back into the favor of the Wildcats as the Oaklanders pick up their first foul of the half, that is. So Kobe Parlin bringing it up, and we're back to where we were just a moment ago as Parlin swings it inside for Sisk. Sisk now, he's going to pass this one over to Jamari Harris. Harris now stopping on the perimeter, swinging his way inside against Rubin, then going back out for Parlin. Parlin now, he's got Swilly out right. Instead, he's going to drive himself. He's got Sisk right there. He's going to choose Kamalu Vargas, though, who's going to get it to go on the left-handed layup. So Kamalu Vargas, with his first couple of the game, that makes it 66-34, your score. As now from the corner, missing are going to be the Oaklanders, more specifically Michael Washington, as Swilly brings it up. So Bradley Swilly making some calls here. He's going to stop on the perimeter, use the screen from Sisk, go on the drive, and kick it to Jamari Harris. Wow. So a great opportunity created for him there by Swilly, but man, is Jamari Harris a one-man highlight reel. He's been great throughout this winter break slate. As now Caligere, he's going to move it over into the hands of McKissy. McKissy now moving out right, takes a step back, driving against Sisk. Puts up the layup. That one's off, and the rebound goes to Harris again. So Jamari Harris showing off just about everywhere. He attempts a pass, but it's going to go off the body of Bala, who will go up and miss the shot on the other end. A great defensive awareness by Jamari Harris to get a hand up. A three is missed, and the rebound goes to Parlin. So the Cats showing off some very impressive skills here as Parlin's going to stop, swing it inside for Sisk. Sisk going to put it up, and that one is just off. You can credit Rubin for the defensive pressure on that one, really making it difficult inside as Eli Williams gets ready to check in for the Cats. This one's going to be poked away from Washington for a moment, but stay in possession of the Oaklanders. As now it's going to get poked out as Jamari Harris with the steal. Harris now stopping, swinging to Parlin. Parlin loses it, and it's Caligere bringing it back for the Oaklanders. He's going to take a three now, and that one's going to be off. Rebounded by Washington. Washington swings it over to Bala. Bala now to Caligere. Uses this, what would have been a screen by Bala. Steps back. Now swinging inside. He's going to put up the layup, and he's going to get it to go. And a timeout called by Coach Brandon Renta as the 15th points on the night are scored by Leolu Caligere. One way or another, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we'll have 10:05 remaining in the second half of action in what would be the beginning of the fourth quarter. One way or another, I am Ryan Gildersleeve, your broadcaster for tonight, and don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment on 88.1 The Berg and your CW Athletics live stream. 88.1 The Berg, your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Folks, you are hearing the voice of Ryan Gildersleeve, your play-by-play broadcaster for all of Winter Breaks action. Thank you for tuning into the matchup here tonight between your Wildcats and the Lincoln University Oaklanders. That's right, folks. What has become a bit of an annual matchup between the two schools has found its way back into the Nicholson Pavilion for the second straight season. That's right, folks. Of course, last year we saw your Wildcats kick it off in their first matchup of the entire season as they went up against Lincoln University, though a little bit different a team then, though I will once again say maybe the same or similar in answer. If you are looking for a result to the matchup, 32 points separate the two teams now as the Wildcats are in the driver's seat. Sisk hands off to Swilly. Swilly now takes the step back, using some real quick and electric dribble moves to get the shot up, and he's not going to be able to connect on it. Rebound goes to Lincoln. And now here's Russ on the other end. Takes a three, makes a three. So Joshua Russ going to get that one to go for himself. He connects on what are I believe his 5th points of the game. As now here's Jamari Harris. Moves it over for Sisk. Calvin Sisk to Parlin, who gets it on the reverse. So give the assist to Sisk on that one. And bringing it up is Cloud McKissy. He's going to lose it. Picked up now by Parlin. Parlin to Swilly on the drive. And he's going to draw the foul on that one. A good job by Bradley Swilly. He's going to have an opportunity for his 5th and 6th of the game on this trip to the line. And let me tell you, folks, Bradley Swilly in his first matchup of the season for the Wildcats, not cooling off much at all. Last year he averaged 9, 3, and 2. And today he's already got 6 of those. So a good showing for himself. He's going to go in and he's going to get a couple of charity stripe opportunities here. And has a chance to push that total up to 8. So getting close to that average already, if that's even something that he really considers. One way or another, folks, we're going to send it off for a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the next stretch of the 9-10 that we have remaining here at the Nicholson Pavilion. Folks, be back in just a moment. .1 The Berg, your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Gildersleeve here, your broadcaster for tonight's action, as I walk you through the next stretch of the 9 minutes and 10 seconds that remain in this matchup between your Central Washington Wildcats and the opposing Lincoln University Oaklanders. We've got Bradley Swilly at the line here to shoot what will be his opportunity at his 5th and 6th points of the matchup. As he will knock down the first one, he's got an opportunity for the next. Substitution here for the Oaklanders as coming out is Washington. Entering in his spot will be T.J. Corbin the second. Second chance from the charity stripe for Bradley Swilly here as he looks to keep that percentage at an even 1,000. Puts that up, knocks that down. So Bradley Swilly, 1,000% from the charity stripe on the year so far, as McKissie's going to move this one out left, and it will be Corbin taking over. So Corbin, he's got Williams out left, didn't use him. Instead, heads out right with it, and he's going to try inside for McKissie. It'll find its way into the hands of Bala. Bala now back to him, and Williams will once again go up to the top. It'll be Calageye. Calageye inside to Bala, and the blocking foul going to be called. This one will go against Noah Pepper of the Wildcats. Your current slate for the Cats is Eli Williams, Bradley Swilly, Jamari Harris, Calvin Sisk, and Noah Pepper. So that's Pepper's first foul of the game as he steps in for his first minutes of the game. And now we'll see what Christian Bala can do from the free throw line as he will make the first one. Opportunity now at a second as the Oaklanders are deeply entrenched in the bonus. 32 points separate them from the Wildcats here. And Christian Bala gets ready to put up his second of the night. That one's up. That one falls. So just like that, they cut it down just a little bit closer. The 6th points of the night for Bala. As now Williams with it, driving up. He's going to move it over to Calvin Sisk. Sisk now scrolling around the perimeter. He hands it off to Jamari Harris, who gets his pocket picked. And there you are. Jamari Harris not going to let that one stand. He's going to drive, and he's going to get a couple for himself. So a good job taking the turnover back after they force it on him. Now on the other end, here's McKissy. He puts up the shot, and they're going to answer back quickly. So now 31 points separate the two squads, 8.5 remaining. Here's Noah Pepper on the drive. Give him a couple. Noah Pepper now with his first 2 of the game. Here's McKissy inside, and they answer back quickly again. Christian Bala going up and over to score on that one. It'll be Bradley Swilly receiving the inbound, tossing back to Williams. Williams now moving up on that right end. He's going to go over to Sisk. Sisk now inside, and the shot's put up and missed by Bradley Swilly. A rebound goes to Williams. Williams over, and it'll be Caligere tossing to McKissy. McKissy back to him. And here's Caligere. He's going to toss over. Bala now to the outside. McKissy with it. Driving, putting it up. And that one is just off the back iron. Rebound goes to Noah Pepper as Eli Williams brings it up now. Tossing into Harris. Harris to Sisk. Sisk to the basket. Gets it to go. So there's Calvin Sisk's 8 points of the night. You'll love to see the production from the big man inside. As now here is Caligere. Moving out left with it. Takes a long 3 ball. That one's off the back iron and rebounded by Bradley Swilly. Swilly now bringing it up. He's going to swing it over for Pepper. Pepper now inside to Sisk. Sisk trying to get it to go again, and he does! So Calvin Sisk now going to push the Wildcats a little bit further. His 10th of the night. The Wildcats 80th. 80-45 your score. As now here's McKissy with it. Driving. He's going to kick it out left. Now they'll go to the outside. Driving. And moving it over to the right side is Williams. Williams now back up top for Caligere. He's matched up with Bradley Swilly here. Caligere, a couple of dribble moves, now using the screen, tosses it out left. McKissy now driving, and Sisk is going to block that one. So the 7-footer gets a hand in there. Now here's Williams on the drive, and the foul is called. It's a block-in foul. That'll go against number 4, Williams. So just like that, it's the 3rd foul of the half committed by the Oaklanders. They'll call a timeout to talk things over, and we'll take one too. Be back with you in just a moment here on the CW Athletics live stream at 88.1 The Berg. .1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Folks, you are here with Ryan Gildersleeve, your play-by-play broadcaster for all of tonight's action. Let me tell you, folks, this last little bit of action between your Wildcats and the Oaklanders has been pretty drawn out, let me tell you. I mean, both of these two teams trying their best to get scores to go on every trip down the court. Now, one team obviously doing a little bit better a job than the other, as there is a 35-point differential between these two squads. But one way or another, you can't take a whole lot away from the Oaklanders, who have come into this matchup and really put their nose to the grindstone, facing off against a team notoriously difficult to defeat at home. Now, of course, the Wildcats coming off of a tough loss on Monday. That one coming to the Bearcats of Northwest Missouri. But right now, Eli Williams getting ready to put up a shot himself. He will get it to go. He's got one more coming for him, an opportunity to push his score in total out to 2 for tonight. Williams so far on the year has shot 2/3 from the free throw line. That's right, 66%. As he will make both here. So a good opportunity for him to push that percentage just a little bit further. And here's Caligere bringing it up once again for the Oaklanders. He's got Kamalu Vargas in front of him. He's going to swing it out to Bala. Bala now goes to the outside, and they're going to call a foul against him. Now, of course, if he was putting up the shot on that one, I believe they would have called the blocking foul, though he does try to bail out of it. And like so many of us have learned, if you no longer have the ball in your hands and you pass it out midair, then there's only bad that can come from that. One way or another, it's going to be Ruben checking into the game in exchange for Bala. Kamalu Vargas, the inbounder, moves it over to Williams, and Williams approaching the other end of the court. He's going to drive, take the step, and lose it, but he's going to keep it in his possession, at least for a moment. Now on the ground, they're going to call a jump ball, and it's going to go in the possession of Lincoln. So the Oaklanders take over as Eli Williams is unable to keep that one fully entrenched in his possession. Looks like the entire floor will stick around on the one end here. First of all, they're going to wait on for a little bit of sweat to be wiped off of the court there. And then we will see the inbound. Thought for a second that the entire team was going to go for the full court press, but one way or another, I suppose that we're going to leave things in the realm of possibility on this one, as it'll be the inbounder Cloud McKissy going into Leolu Kalajea. Though it will go right back to him. So McKessy bringing it up now for the Oaklanders. He's going to take the stop on the perimeter. No steps remain, and he moves this one over. And once again, it is Kalajea. He's going to try. Nope, he will bail out. Now to Ruben. Knowledge Ruben takes the mid-range, knocks it down. It's 8 points for him on the night so far as Kamalu Vargas now has it. Coming up, past that big old half-court logo of your Wildcats. He drives in, kicks out for Williams. Williams now on the drive, keeps it in his hands, puts it up. That one's off. Noah Pepper on the second chance opportunity. He's going to get it to go, get his fourth of the night so far. Here's Knowledge Ruben creating separation and getting it to go. Give him 10. As 5 minutes and 20 seconds remain in this matchup. Xavier Kamalu Vargas inside now to Sisk. Sisk working against Knowledge Ruben. He's got the double team now as he kicks out. Kamalu Vargas now to Harris. Now to Williams. Takes the three and makes the three. Eli Williams doing a good job there of capitalizing on a corner look. Now here's Kalajea and a whistle on the other end. This one's going to go against Xavier Kamalu Vargas and will result in the 1-1 for Leolu Kalajea. So you got to give it to them. They've been drawing fouls at a high clip all night. Now attempting free throws. The Oaklanders have been pretty good from the charity stripe here tonight, as that one's going to fall for them. 37 points separate these two teams, as that was the 16th point scored by Kalajea. Now, re-entering the court will be Chris Planty. He checks in for TJ Corbin II. Kalajea now getting ready for the second of the 1-1. He earned it, and he'll capitalize on it. So just like that, gets himself his 17th of the night as Eli Williams approaches for the Cats. He's going to move out left with it. Now stops and pushes it up, and that one's off. Rebound his own miss, though, then gets it to go. So 7 points on the night for Williams. And once again, the Oaklanders will look to find a break in the Cats' defense as a foul is going to get called. This one appears as though it'll go against Kamalu Vargas again. And it will be, as Swilly now is held off from checking in for just a moment, though it appears that Swilly will check in for Kamalu Vargas. It'll be another string of free throws for Kalajea here. 4 minutes, 42 seconds remain, as now Leolu Kalajea puts up the first and knocks it down. Bradley Swilly now checking into the matchup as we await the second free throw. Leolu Kalajea has really put the team on his back here tonight. Up to this point, 18 points. He leads his squad by almost double that of the second highest. Now Kalajea putting it up and knocking it down. So 4 for 4 in his last couple of trips. The Wildcats now inbound as Noah Pepper comes in to Williams. Williams now going to cross over that half-court logo. Noah Pepper approaching for the screen. He's going to get the pass, take the three, and miss it. Rebound will not fall, as the foul will be called against Jamari Harris. What a exciting turn of events that would have been, as almost saw the Noah Pepper pull up three ball. I was honestly pretty excited for that one. I can't lie. As Williams getting ready to roll here. Puts it up. Makes it. He's got one more coming for him now and a chance to cut the lead down to just 34. It's the second from Elijah Williams. And that one is off. Rebound goes to Sisk. Sisk now to Williams. And it will be Eli Williams bringing it up for the Cats. He's matched up with Chris Planty. Moving out right with it is Williams. Stopping, swinging in for Swilly, and he gets it to go. Give Bradley Swilly his 8th points on the night. As now approaching is McKissy. He's got Williams in front of him. He's going to use the screen from from Knowledge Rubin. Now moves it out right for Caligere. Caligere being guarded by Swilly. And he's going to use a screen for McKissy. Now on the drive, he's got a wide open lane, and he uses it properly. Another 2 points to his favor. Give him 21 on the night. As now here's Swilly approaching on that right side. Sisk coming in with the screen. He's going to use it. Give him the pass, and an easy 2 for Chris Sisk. An easy 2 coming that time for Calvin Sisk. Very similar name to Siwoo football coach Chris Fisk. That one kind of gets to me once or twice a game. But one way or another, foul's going to be called on the other end, and they are going to call a timeout, so we will too, one way or another. Thank you for tuning into our broadcast tonight. I am Ryan Gildersleeve, your play-by-play broadcaster, and I will be right back with you in just a moment here on 88.1 The Berg and your CW Athletics live stream. .1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Welcome back, folks. Ryan Gildersleeve, your play-by-play broadcaster for all of tonight's action. 93-56 is your score as the Wildcats currently lead it by 27 over the opposition. 37 over the opposition. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remain. Let me tell you, folks, math, not my strong suit. Have I taken a math class throughout my 4 years at Central Washington? No. Have I taken one in my senior year of high school before that? No. So let me tell you, folks, bringing it down to just simple subtraction ends up being a little bit of an issue once or twice a year. As Caligere going to get ready to put up the free throw here. Has the 1-and-1 for him as he will miss the first. He does get both shots here as the shooting foul was called against one more time, Calvin Sisk. 7-4 are your Wildcats on the year. Of course, what would be probably the worst loss of the year happened on Monday, and they're coming back from it in a big way. They faced off against that Northwest Missouri team, and of course, the Bearcats came in and made the most of their opportunity to play the Wildcats. One of the few teams to have a dominant win in Nicholson Pavilion this year or over the last stretch in general, as we're going to see another 2 dropped in there by Bradley Swilly. Approaching now is Caligere. He's going to move out left with it. Now on the drive, he's going to put that one up and miss it, but not without a whole lot of effort. He ran into Bradley Swilly at about Mach 3 there, as now Swilly with the ball in hand. He's going to use the screen from Sisk. He's got this opportunity for a second, but not going to test Knowledge Rubin. Now he's going to shoot it from the corner, and he's not going to knock it down. Rebound goes to Rubin, who's going to toss it up for McKissy. Gets up and gets it to go. Another 2 for the Oaklanders. 2:38 remaining. Here's Jamari Harris. Step back. Almost looked like he wanted the 3 there. He's going to toss it up for Sisk instead, though. Now moving it across court for Pepper. Pepper to the corner with Williams. Williams inside for Sisk. He's going to put it up, and he's going to get it to go. So there you are. There's Calvin Sisk with his 14th of the game so far. And that's going to lead to a quick shot on the other end by the Oaklanders before Central Washington gets the rebound. Here's Noah Pepper, takes the 3. That one's off the back iron. Rebound goes to Jamari Harris. He's going to take one. He's going to make one. Jamari Harris A dagger through the heart of the Oaklanders on that one. Looks real familiar to me, let me tell you. 100-59 now your score. Central leads it by 41. And Jamari Harris with a steal. Look at him go. He's going to move it over to Pepper. Pepper to Swilly to the rim. Give him 2 more. 12 on the night. What a return for Bradley Swilly it has been. And bringing it up in response will be Caligere as Kamalu Vargas gets ready to check in. A 3-pointer is off, and the Cats regain possession. It'll be Calvin Sisk swapping out for Kamalu Vargas, as your Wildcats have really come alive over this last 2 minutes of game time. Only $1:28 remaining in this one. 102-59 your score. As a couple of substitutions now for the opposition. Coming in is going to be number 12, Joel Codner-Marshall, as well as number 13, Malachi Evelyn. And here is Eli Williams. He's going to bring it up with Noah Pepper out right and Jamari Harris out left. He's going to move right with it. He's going to pass over to Pepper. Pepper matched up with Knowledge Rubin. He's going to go to Swilly, and that one will find its way out of bounds, but still be Wildcat ball. So a good job to keep that one in their possession, not getting too aggressive with it. Inbounding for the Cats will be Kamalu Vargas. Looked like it was going to be Swilly. They make the swap. And now Kamalu Vargas getting ready here. He's going to move it in for Williams. Williams heading out left with it. He's going to go to Jamari Harris, and there's going to be a whistle called on that one. This time the foul going to go against number 12 of the opposition, that being the freshly checked in Joel Codner-Marshall. Kamala Vargas once again the inbounder. He goes to Pepper quickly. Pepper pushing Rubin out of the way, but he steps out, a travel is called on that one as goes a little bit too far with the jab step there. Now your inbounder, Evelyn, he's going to toss into Williams, and we are getting started. Hey, one thing that you can't take away from Elijah Williams, great shoe game. He's going to go against Williams here on the drive. Almost gets it poked out of his hands, but instead he's going to go Paul George with it. Now rebounded by the Oaklanders, and it's Williams once again. Driving out left. He's going to go to the top for Knowledge Rubin. Rubin takes the long shot, knocks down the long shot. So Knowledge Rubin scoring once more, 12 points for him on the night. Here's Jamari Harris now. He's going to take the step back as he's being approached by number 8, Christian Bala. 32.9 remain in this one as it finds its way out of bounds. That one will once again hand possession to Lincoln University. Now, receiving the inbound is Elijah Williams. And it's going to be Corbin now. Corbin moving inside. He's going to go on the drive. Now he's going to kick back out for Williams. Williams matched up with Kamala Vargas. Now he's going to drive, use a couple spin moves, put it up inside, and it's going to hit every part of the rim but the net there as Williams steps out of bounds. And that's just about going to do it for you, folks. 7.9 seconds remain in this one. Your Wildcats lead it by a whopping 41 points here, folks, as there's no time remaining on the shot clock. Eli Williams will dribble this one up past half court, and that'll be the end of the matchup. Bradley Swilly going to go ahead and, well, he's going to at least try to throw an exclamation point on it. But one way or another, folks, a great win for your Wildcats as they looked to get back into the matchup. I mean, hey, you got to get your head back in the game one way, and they did it here tonight. Your Wildcats, they were aggressive. They were strong put on the inside. They didn't turn the ball over in the way that you would have expected them to. And really, they did a good job of getting their opportunities to fall. So one way or another, you can't take much away from your Wildcat team. Also, for Lincoln University, you got to appreciate the hustle. They make their way up to Central Washington, and they play a very strong Central Washington team. We will be happy to see them and welcome them back to the Nicholson Pavilion next year as we get ready for what will be a great third set in the annual matchup between these squads. One way or another, you got to give some props to the other teams, specifically Leolu Caligere and Knowledge Rubin, both of which really put on a great showing, doing a good job of keeping their team in it against the Wildcats for the majority of the game. Now, what I will say is that your Wildcats, of course, did piece it together in a way a bit different than their opposition. They had a great night for themselves in a number of different ways, though one way or another, folks, I got to tell you, picking out a player of the game for this one, incredibly difficult, as you really just don't know who to point to in a game that was so well-rounded. I mean, there was no Wildcat that really took over the whole thing single-handedly, but I'm going to give it tonight to Bradley Swilly, making his return back to the court here at Nicholson Pavilion. It was so great to be able to call another one of his games. Number 3 is back with the Cats, and let me tell you, folks, I thank you so very dearly for tuning into these matchups over our winter break slate. I, of course, have been calling each of these games for you on 88.1 The Berg, as well as your CW Athletics live stream, and we have reached the end of our winter break slate. So for one last time, I'd like to thank you for tuning into these broadcasts. Thank you for welcoming me into your home or your car or wherever it may be that you're listening. And I will say, since this is the last time that I will hear from you, or rather, you'll hear from me before the beginning of the year, I would like to say a very, very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody, no matter what you celebrate or what you may be doing. I will be more than glad to welcome you back to the broadcast as we get started once again. We'll have CWU women's basketball kicking things off on January 2nd. Don't miss it, folks. We'll be here on 88.1 The Berg in your Central Washington University Athletics live stream. For Ryan Gildersleeve, that 88.1 The Berg and your CW Athletics live stream. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your break, and good night.